This week's episode... Hang on, these aren't weekly. Irrelevant. This week's episode begins with the joy of yet another penalties win in the cup, and the good times are followed by the team calling me to say we need better left backs. Incidentally, I'd already placed a ton of bids to address this issue. My joy was then extinguished by an embarrassing loss to one of the top half teams, but at least securing one of the left backs that I'd bid on ended that issue in the squad almost as soon as it began. Now, while waiting to hear back on those deals, our final match of July was postponed because of weather, which served me well because it moved the harder fixtures forward and an easier fixture later. Of course, this took us one step closer to yet another performance review meeting. I had until the end of August to improve results, and frankly, some of those fixtures that were coming up were scary. To offset this fear, I managed to pick up a Korean winger on deadline day, who proceeded to score the only goal in his debut match. This was followed by a pivotal match and a headline that I thought was pretty heckin' funny. We split the points, which was an improvement for both of us. I was then told about an unemployed striker who would be a huge improvement to us, and I got him to commit to joining us next season by throwing every single clause at him to encourage him to accept the lowest possible wage. After another defeat, I was asked to be a little nicer in the changing room. I then had to take on the best team directly beneath us in a two-legged cup tie, which we lost. Our situation here wasn't helped by the cup having limits on foreign players, and all the best players in my squad were Japanese and Korean. I need to make a note to try and find more Chinese players for future seasons. For the final match of August, I conceded 4 penalties against the second best team in China, but the boards registered an improvement in the team's performance because a rival slipped into the relegation zone. Our schedule for the rest of the season looked much nicer, and survival felt like an actual possibility. Our next match against the top 4 team showed promising signs, but we just can't hold our lead. Unfortunately, these next 2 game weeks saw the worst combination of Manchester sliders back down, but when we faced a relegation rival again, a major goalkeeping error gave us this much needed goal. The fans don't like me, but they don't understand what's really happening. And when the league published a summary of the relegation battle, I became even more sure of our safety. While almost all of our opponents have favourable schedules as well, we were only 2 points behind the Mighty Lions with a game in hand against them, and their schedule was actually challenging. The tail end of the season began with a win and a draw and an injury that took out 38-year-old Wang Yang, which I thought would lead to his retirement considering we miss out the rest of the season. On the other end of the age spectrum, our youth intake was incredible, for a team of our standards that is, with a 16-year-old goalkeeper coming in who already looked better than our best keeper in a number of attributes. A note has been made to make him the starting keeper for next season. On the back of this increase to our spirits, we lost our Korean winger for what remained of the season due to a training injury, and the way results played out made sure that everything went to the wire, which was fine because we nailed it on the final day. Now it's just a matter of getting the boards to keep me on because a relegation battle was beneath their expectations at the start of the season. While we're on the joy of continued top-flight football, we still have a very severe financial issue. Yeah. That. But I have a plan to help address this little by little. We are going to spam friendlies in the off-season so that some form of funding can be generated over the next 4 months. So here we are, for the first time in Saving Provate Dalian, the end of season summary. Our reputation increased somehow, and we won the award for Young Player of the Year, which I wasn't expecting. But the dreaded board meeting came, and they were kind enough to give me another chance, and we will be exploring next season in the next episode.